I
Crap.
don't really. There we go.
It's still not live yet.
No, it is.
No, it says scheduled.
No, it says live. 7 seconds gone. 8, 9. Maybe you should introduce us.
Mine still says scheduled. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Mighty. My name is AnnMarie, known as Stupid on Breast Cancer and What Would You Miss? I'm with my pal Gabe, and today we are going to be talking about mental health and taking real action. As we know, well, maybe you don't know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and my thought is we're
Just
all
kidding.
aware. No, I'm wholeheartedly. I've actually been a little silent this month. I think I'm a little annoyed that I see all this stuff being posted and these shirts and everyone's wearing all this, great quotes. But what are we going to do? Like, seriously, where's the action?
Well, so right. And I'm Gabriel Nathan. I'm known as Lovebug Trumps Hate on Instagram. I also run OC87 Recovery Diaries. It's an online mental health publication. And I like to tell people I was born an 85-year-old curmudgeon, and
I believe that.
It's true. And I came out with like the salty expression and the cane, and I look at all of these things that you're talking about, these T-shirts and these memes, and it's okay to not be okay, and be the one, and let's talk about it, and on and on and on, and all of these slogans. And it's really, the word that comes to mind is slacktivism, right? So you or anyone kind of posting on Mental Health Awareness Month and reposting a meme or sharing the Lifeline number or, all that stuff is fine. And I don't want to seem like I'm denigrating anything. But as AnnMarie said, the question then becomes, now what? And what happens after May? And what happens when it's no longer fashionable or cool or whatever to talk about mental health? I mean, every day has to be Mental Health Awareness Day, really, because we don't get to turn this off. No. I don't get to turn my anxiety off or my depression off. I don't get to schedule when my suicidal thoughts come or when obsessive compulsive thoughts or behaviors enter into my life.
Pencil it in for Tuesday.
Right. Yeah. Let me just see. Well, I'm looking kind of busy this week. I don't really have time to be anxious. So so we don't get a break. People who have schizophrenia have these voices and these delusions, and they don't get to be like, you know what? This is really inconvenient now. Let me hit pause. No, it's not how it works.
It's not just that, like, you don't have control of when it's going to hit you. You can be doing perfectly fine, then all of a sudden you're feeling all of whatever it is, and there's no control over it. And to what you are saying, Gabe, another point is, I don't even know what next month is. Let's just say I don't even know what. Like, October's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, right? We have Lupus Month. We have Brain Cancer Month. We have all these months. You know what the one common thread is to every single illness that we have a month for? Mental health. Every single one of those issues, illnesses, whatever, the common thread is mental health. So why aren't we talking about this 365 days out of the year? Because it affects literally everybody. And let me say something. If you're watching this and you're thinking, you know what, I've never really been depressed or I've never had anxiety, I bet you love somebody who has. Guess what? It affects you too.
And not only that, and so to your question about why are we not making that mental health connection to everything, to cancer, to Crohn's, to brain disorders? I feel like it's because we still silo. We still say mental health is over here, and all these physical ailments and HIV and cancer and coronary artery disease and heart disease, they're all over here. Right. And it's bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, Gabe, I've talked about it quite often. After my first cancer diagnosis, my doctor patted me on the back, was like, "You did great. See you later." Yeah. Nobody asked me if I needed help emotionally, mentally. Nobody. And I have a mental health rep sheet. And I've spoken with a lot of people, and it's always the same thing. And actually, a mutual friend of ours, Justin, and I just did a chat the other day. And when you're going through a diagnosis, your mental health sometimes doesn't hit you until after. Like, it may take a year for you to be like, oh my God, like, what just happened to me? And you may never have exhibited signs of depression and anxiety or PTSD or any of that. So why aren't we talking about this? Because it's going to happen sooner or later. And I once had this woman say to me, Oh, I'm good. I don't need any help. I've been completely fine. Totally good. Never had to deal with any of that. She came to me 6 months later. She's like, I definitely need help. Like, I am like struggling right now. That's frightening to me that it took her 6 months and she didn't know where to turn. We need more.
And we
Go ahead.
we do need more. And I'm sorry. So my connection is lagging, so I don't mean to talk over you. It's just very difficult for me to know when you're done.
You know, I don't care. You're Jewish. I'm Italian. It's just like one and the same.
It is. It is. But so not only do we need more of that vulnerability, but we also need more of this understanding that mental health is liminal, that you can be fine now, but you may not be fine tomorrow, or the phone could ring and you won't be fine based on what you hear on the other end of that phone. Right. And I saw something last night related. There's an organization that puts out information about firearms related to their dangerousness. But they're also kind of pro Second Amendment. So they're trying to do it all. They're trying to say, yeah, there are good things about guns, but there are also some really horrible things. And we really need to be having those conversations. So I commented on this post on Instagram that talked about, it showed a picture of a gun pointed this way. And it's like what people think they need to worry about. And then the gun pointed right at the screen. And it's like, ouch, what gun owners really need to worry about. Because most firearm deaths from gun owners are them using the gun on themselves. Right. So the comment that I wrote was really about how I'm so glad that you guys are putting this out there, but I really feel that there is this idea they call it the 2A culture, the Second Amendment culture, that like, not me. Yeah. Okay. You can present me with all those numbers and all those stats. And I get it that other people do that. Not me.
The best sentence I ever heard.
I won't do that.
From somebody was, not me until it's you.
Right.
Because
and that's right.
Don't know. You just don't know.
And in suicide prevention, we always say anyone is capable of anything at any time. Period.
Which I'm glad you said that, because that actually brings me to something that I've been thinking a lot about. And, part of take action, like what are we going to do here, right? So sure, we can talk about let's destigmatize mental health. We all know that we need to do that. You got your shirt on, it says, whatever, you're not alone, or whatever the shirt says. Okay. Is that your conversation opener? Because when I do have shirts like that. I'm not going to lie. Like I 100% have shirts like that, but that's my conversation opener. If someone makes a comment to me, I will say something to them about it. And we can't wait is the problem. We can't wait until it gets to that point. But the part of destigmatizing is using language. And I've been thinking a lot about different language that I hear people say. And, we've all been around a work environment or, hanging out with your friends, and someone says, I could just kill myself. I'm just so stressed out, I could just kill myself.
Yeah. And
I get that they're saying that they may not really mean it. And I do think we should take every comment like that seriously. But what comes into it is when the friend says, some crude comment about it. That's the bigger part of the issue. And there's a sentence that I've been thinking so much about. And it's about our emotions, right? Because we're so scared to talk about people's emotions, especially men. Like if a man is crying, like what's he crying for?
Yeah. It's scary. We don't like that.
This sentence is the sentence I want to talk about. Don't be a baby.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay. I thought about that like repeatedly. Don't be a baby. Don't be a baby. When babies cry, it's because they need something.
Right.
Whether it's a diaper change, to be burped, food, love, a hug, be picked up, to be held. When somebody is crying, they need something. Maybe it's just to let it out and to have somebody listen. Or maybe that's them saying, like, I can't take anymore. Stop telling people they're babies when they're crying because they have an emotion. You don't know what the other end of that emotion is. It's actually been like getting me fired up.
Yeah. And we need to be asking questions. We need to be, instead of telling people to stop. And why are we telling them to stop? It's because it makes us uncomfortable, right? It makes us uncomfortable to see people upset. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like how that makes me feel. Stop that. And what's the first thing we do is we give them fucking tissue, right? The tissue helps us because it's a way to get them to stop doing what they're doing, right? It doesn't really help them. They're
unless they got snot coming down their nose.
But that's what they don't care. because they're in extreme distress. They don't give a shit if they've got snot
I
pouring out of their
know.
nose and all that stuff. It helps us, right?
Yeah, I know, Gabe, you're on fire today.
So what we really need to be doing is, instead of saying, stop that, stop acting like a baby, here's this thing that's going to staunch your tears, we need to sit down and say, why? What happened? And that's what, so I used to work at a psychiatric hospital, and we did some stuff related to trauma-informed care. Some of it was window dressing and bullshit, and about like, oh, what trauma-informed color are we going to paint the walls in this ridiculous place? But some of it was actually had value. And one of the things that we were taught as employees of this hospital, oh, here we go. Hi.
Oh.
Yeah. Hi, baby. Okay. Okay. Hi.
No.
I love you. I do.
Okay.
I do.
This is a great point. That dog
wait. Well, okay.
Wanted attention and love.
That's right, but she's not crying.
No, but crying. You don't always have to cry either.
That's right. Sometimes we just have to ask for what we need, but sometimes we can't ask for it.
Right. But Gabe, I don't know what you're about to start saying about the tissue and everything, and about saying what's going on. Sometimes it's not even that. Sometimes it's just saying to the person, let it out. I'm going to be here. I'm going to listen to you. Yes.
And it's not knowing magic words to say. It's just saying, I'm going to be here with you right now.
Right.
And what I was saying is, they taught us to say not what's wrong with you, but what happened to you. We want to ask what happened? What happened to you?
Yeah, exactly. You know, I think that it's just, that's the way we need to be looking at mental health. And it's not, we're all aware that mental health exists. And if you're not, and you say, oh, that person's so emotional, or, oh my God, don't be a baby, or
they're hysterical.
Don't be hysterical. No, that's the first thing in taking action. Like, be the one to stand. And if you're in a circle of people that are saying that, say something. Stand up.
Yeah.
Stand up before it is too late, because I can guarantee you want to hear that person cry more than you want to attend their funeral.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that. And, you know, locally we had a death by suicide a couple months ago, and I was getting fever texts from students, from parents. They were so mad that it happened, and they're so upset, and the school's not doing enough, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then the schools, people I knew at the school were like, we're doing everything we can. You know what? You're doing everything you can right now when it happened. How about doing something before it happened? How about doing something right now? It's 2 months out of the suicide. How about taking action now? Because it's not going to stop until you actually do something about it. So it's fueling your anger into something, into action. We can't sit by anymore. We cannot. I'm so sick of people saying that you're emotional, and, you know, and it goes both ways, right? If a woman is showing her emotion and showing how she feels about something, you are immediately dubbed, oh, well, she's so emotional. She's so dramatic. Mm-hmm. There might be a reason why she's like that. There clearly might be a reason why. And if a man is showing anger or crying, you know, we're dubbing it for whatever. He needs anger management issues.
He's a psycho. He's unhinged.
Exactly. So how about making a change in that? It's great that you got that shirt on. It's fantastic. Not your shirt. It's a postal shirt. I mean, I don't know who the hell wears a postal shirt in the middle of, I'm not even going to go there. Yeah. Anyways, it's about really standing up. So stop saying that you want to see a change in mental health when all you want to do is sit back and let all that crap happen. I'm sick of it. Yeah. I really am.
And we also need to stop using the word emotional as an insult. If you want to use it as praise.
Right.
You're so emotional. You are so emotional. You are so in tune with your emotions. It's so lovely to see that you're able to express yourself like that. Why is it pejorative? Why is it an insult?
What the hell does that word mean?
Well, it means insulting, to pejorative. That it's
pejorative? Like who even uses that word?
I don't know. I read it once and I was like, I got to use it today.
What do you get? Word of the day on your calendar?
I do. Yeah.
You're so cool.
Yeah. But it's not an insult. It's not something to make someone ashamed of. It's what we should all be aspiring to. For years, I stuffed shit down and repressed and suppressed. And that comes out in some really ugly ways. If you're not able to slowly kind of let it out of the balloon, right? So we need to be encouraging people to be doing that.
We need to be encouraging them, and we need to be the ones facilitating that. And education, it's not, you know, if you don't know about certain severe mental illnesses, schizophrenia, bipolar, you know, dissociative personality, whatever it's called. I can't get my brain, borderline personality disorder, OCD, anxiety. I don't care what it is. Go read about it so that you can understand what it actually means, instead of saying, oh my God, she was happy one minute and then she was emotional the next. She must be schizophrenic.
Right.
No, not necessarily true. I think that we need to educate, and there are resources out there that aren't intimidating for you to go check out and just read about. If you have children, if you have a loved one, if you have friends, if you have family members, if you just have yourself even.
Yeah, no one's saying you have to read the DSM-5. There's lots of other ways to learn about mental illness. And again, I don't want to self-promote, but one way that you can do that, on the Mighty, there's personal essays. On OC87 Recovery Diaries, there's personal essays. There's a beautiful piece by AnnMarie there. You don't just have to go to like fact-based sites. People's stories also have value. People's stories also help you learn and understand, because chances are you want to learn about another human being whom you love or care about, or is in your family or your friend group. So learn from someone else's personal recovery narrative. There's things that you can gain there, knowledge that you can gain there, human life experience that you can then apply to someone else.
And no one's saying that you have to have gone through something like that, because I get it. Like, some people just have never experienced any sort of trauma or anything that have gone on like that. So Gabe is right. Read about someone else's experience so that you can have empathy towards them when they're trying to express how they feel. And that is a great way to take action, right? Even, you guys, Facebook, and I know, Gabe, you're not on Facebook, but Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you are, I see people constantly like sharing these great funny memes, and they are hilarious. Most of them. Some of them are ridiculous. How about sharing someone's mental health story? Wouldn't that be ironic to just share a story? I read this article. It was really emotionally powerful to me. Whatever you want to write. Or I read this article. I think you might like it, because you don't know who all your 200 billion friends are on Facebook. That might really resonate with someone and may make them feel like, you know what? I'm not alone. At least someone's reading about different things that I go through.
And that's how change happens. Change happens when we open ourselves up to other people's experiences, because when you're
right,
we can really get immersed in our own headspace and how we look at the world and our experience. Step outside of that.
Yes.
And
get out of your little box.
It's actually really lovely to be introduced to other people, like OC87 Recovery Diaries. We've got authors from India. We've got authors from Rwanda, Turkey, Ireland, all experiencing mental health challenges. And while there are similarities in these people and these experiences, there are also extreme cultural differences. You can learn so much by connecting with these human beings, and really enrich your own life experience and broaden your understanding of the people around you.
Yeah, and understand, it takes a lot. It takes a lot for somebody to share their story. A lot. It makes someone very vulnerable. It brings up emotions that they may never have dealt with in a long time or haven't dealt with at all. Gabe, I've been completely open with everything I've gone through, and I had posted something once about my sexual assault, and it was an intense piece. And someone asked me if I liked the attention. Let that sink in for a minute.
Yeah.
You think I want to get attention from something that happened to me? No, I actually want to heal myself. And a great way for healing to happen is to share your story and to let your voice be heard, because there are people who can't share their story. And to me, that's how I look at it. It wasn't just about sharing my story personally for me. It was about me sharing it. So maybe that one person reading it would be like, I relate. I don't feel alone anymore because this person went through exactly what I went through. Or maybe it's somebody reading it who, can change their perspective a little bit as well. So stop acting like people are trying to get attention seekers, because they're sharing their story. They're being vulnerable.
Yeah, I wanted to say something about that, because as I mentioned earlier, I used to work at a psych facility, and that phrase, attention seeker, was one of the most commonly thrown around phrases by staff on the unit, by frontline staff, by psych nurses, by doctors, by psychiatrists, in speaking in an incredibly disgusting and offensive way about patients, about, quote, certain frequent flyers who were in and out. Now, if someone's a frequent flyer at a shithole hospital, maybe you want to think about why that is. Are they really seeking attention, or are they so in pain and so desperate that they have nothing else? They have no other resource. They have no other idea what to do other than to come back to that facility. Oh no, but they're attention seeking. They really want the attention. Right.
So 2 things. First of all, hospitalized twice. You think I wanted to go there? No, it was my best alternative to staying alive. My only alternative to staying alive. And I can't stand the word attention seekers, because we all need attention. This is something that should transcend in the Mental Health Awareness Month. People need attention. I'm going to go back to that baby crying. You going to call that baby crying an attention seeker? Like Sadie? I mean, she might be a little bit. And I mean, to all of these points, I know I'm going to get flack for saying that, but there is negative attention too, which I totally understand. I get that. But if someone is telling you that they're suicidal, or they're, they're self-harming, and they're telling you repeatedly, and you think that they're asking for attention, they're asking for help, and they don't have the words or the capability to actually say, I need help. Because saying I need help is so much harder than just, casually saying, I could kill myself. Like, that is harder to say. It is. And I think that we need to stop. We need to seriously put a hold on what we're saying, because it does affect people. I've been in a circle of people where they've made comments like that. It makes me extremely uncomfortable, which is also hilarious, right? We want to create these safe spaces for people, and we want people to be able to come to us. We want to let everyone know they're not alone. Yet we mock mental health. We act like schizophrenia and bipolar and OCD and anxiety are jokes. How do we, that must drive you so insane, you might as well end up in an asylum. Like, saying stuff like that, how do you think you're creating a safe space for me to come to you if I feel like my only option is to enter a hospital?
We also mock the phrase safe space. We also make fun of that. Oh, you need a safe space? What are you, such a pussy snowflake? Can't handle blah, blah, blah. So we're even kind of shooting ourselves in the foot there. Right?
Absolutely.
So we human beings do need safe spaces. Human beings are vulnerable. Human beings are frail. And that is all okay. That's not an insult. Oh, you're so frail, you're so weak. No, it's true. We are frail. We can get hurt very easily. And we do need safe spaces. People who are having thoughts of ending their lives need safe people to go to, who they can tell, who they can talk to. People who aren't going to throw judgment at them, who aren't going to smack them down, who aren't going to belittle or berate them or minimize what their experience or guilt them. Oh my God, you're suicidal, but you have a wife and children. What's wrong with you?
That's the worst. And
you have so much to live for.
At my peak of depression and suicidal ideations and plans, when people said that to me, I felt like a horrible human being. I felt like I was a burden to my family. I felt terrible for thinking the way I did. I really truly believed that they would be better off without me, because I was having those thoughts. The guilt was immense. It really was. I mean, there's no denying that at all.
And I know people don't realize they're doing it. They think they're doing something good, but it is not good. It's very, very harmful.
Right. They think they're saying the right thing because they're not educated. And that's the biggest problem. There needs to be more education around this. Screw the awareness month. How about education month? How about educating people? What do I say if someone comes to me? What do I do if I find out that my friend is schizophrenic and they're in an episode? What do I do?
Or how about, what does that even mean? What does schizophrenia even mean? My friend was diagnosed.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Yeah. Look up, and I don't mean like look up the Wikipedia definition. There are, I don't want to say dumbed down, because that's a terrible sentence to say, but that's exactly what.
No, it's stuff that's talked about in like layman's terms that isn't
so much better than me.
Medicalese. It's down to earth information about what these diagnoses are.
And
go ahead.
and get involved. Like there's ways that you can get involved. You could try, volunteering for a crisis line, 741-741, take
Yep.
the course, maybe check out different crisis education certifications that you can get, not to do anything with it, but just to educate yourself if there was a crisis.
But you
Um,
can be educated to do so. You can take mental health first
no,
aid. You can take
absolutely.
QPR. You can be certified in lots of different things related to mental health and suicide prevention. They're cheap. Sometimes they're free.
Yep.
Sometimes there are grants that these make these programs available. I'm a QPR trainer. It's Question, Persuade, Refer. It's a suicide intervention training. So these trainings are available. They're available on Zoom. They're available in person. You can get involved. You can volunteer for your local suicide prevention task force. I'm not really a great fan of task forces, but some people are, and that's okay. There's lots of different ways to get involved. Not everything is right for everybody,
Right.
but you
It's
will
finding
find
your
your
niche.
niche.
We said it together.
Look at that. Look at that. We
The
pronounced
Jew and
it
the
differently.
Italian. Holla.
Here, high five.
Sorry.
Are you on that side of the screen?
I don't
Shit.
know.
Oh, I fucked that up. Oh, whatever.
Wait,
I
I
don't know
gotta
where
go
you
this
are.
way. I gotta go this way.
And I go
Let's
this
do it again.
this way.
Yeah.
Go. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Wow.
Anyways, I'm just going to give a shout out right now because NAMI NYC Metro is having their annual walk tomorrow. If you're in that area, join it. This is a great way to show your support to people and to give back to an organization that is helping. NAMI NYC is great. I do work with them. Standing up in things like that does make a difference because people who are there may be struggling and they may see a familiar face, and that just makes them feel much more connected. There are things like this that you can do. They're small, they're minuscule. Everyone needs to go for a walk, right? Go for a walk and support an organization that makes a difference. It's not just about posting a meme. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but it's not. Or telling me, here's another thing, and I'm sorry. I guess I'm going to be on a roll. Don't tell me I'm amazing when I'm feeling like I'm crap. I know you should say that, but why am I amazing? Because at that moment, I don't necessarily feel it. So there is such thing as toxic positivity. And I think we, right now, Americans are in toxic positivity. I mean, it's trendy to, wear cute shirts. What's going to happen after, though, when that trend is over with?
Well, they go to a thrift shop. I don't know
the thrift shop, though.
The shirt that, yeah, me too. But I mean, like, really, that's what happens because it goes away.
Like your shirt, did you get that at a thrift shop?
I got it from an Instagram account that sells like vintage shit. So basically, a thrift shop online.
You totally did.
Anyway. All
right, so this
I want to go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't going to say anything.
You were.
I think it's NAMI everywhere is having their walk, so check it out.
I just want to kind of bring it back to where we started, which was about kind of making every day Mental Health Awareness Day, because again, people who live with serious and persistent mental illness, and even I call it mental illness light, like what I have, even though I shouldn't minimize it and I shouldn't marginalize myself that way. You can do things every day that both enhance your mental health and enhance the mental health of people around you, that show that you are engaged, that you are involved, that you are aware, and that you are trying to do better. You really can. And it's just about finding those opportunities. And the easiest thing to do is have conversations with people.
So easy. It's just so easy to have a conversation.
Be open about yourself. Be open to receiving someone else, kind of the way AnnMarie and I do.
Yeah,
we come here. Go ahead.
There's such a lag. Maybe it's just you. No, we come here and we just share. We just talk. We're not solving the world problem here, but we are opening up. And I think if you've watched our previous lives, both Gabe and I have been brutally honest with each other and with ourselves. And that's hard to do. But when you find someone that you're comfortable doing it with, it's not as hard as you think. And, I'm going to shout my own thing out. So I'm going to shout out What Would You Miss? Because this goes back to not knowing what to say to somebody. I totally understand that. And if anyone watching this thinks that Gabe and I both like have known things to say to people forever, we haven't. This has taken years of experience, practice, and education to find the right words to say to someone. And telling someone what you would miss about them shows that you see them. It validates their existence and shows that they matter to you for the stupidest things and for who they are. Not for their job, their kids, their house, their car, but for ridiculous little things. If Gabe, I would miss so much you wearing a vintage postal shirt that I could mock.
I wore it just for you. I really did, actually. I went to my closet this morning. Obviously, I knew I was doing this later today, and I was getting dressed, and I was like, what should I... She will appreciate this. This will give her something.
I totally appreciate
this will give
that.
her material. I did.
I would miss you wearing things like that. I would miss your ridiculous jokes with me. I would miss you saying words like, what was the word you said before?
Pejorative.
Pejorative, that I don't even know what it means. I would miss those things about you.
I told you what it meant.
I know, afterwards.
Okay.
But telling someone the things that you would miss about them really does make a change. And it opens up a conversation that you can have with them that might be really hard. And switch it, okay? If you are struggling and you don't know how to reaching out and saying, hey, Gabe, you know what? I would miss lip gloss if I wasn't here. Gabe would be like, what? Oh, wait a minute. You miss lip gloss. Well, what are you talking about lip gloss for? I mean, it's such a way to open a conversation. And it does help people who have lost someone to suicide to be able to talk about that person without ever having to say the word suicide, because that person died a tragic death. The suicide part is only part of their story, who they are, what they went through, the things that they did in their life. That's what matters. And that's what the person is going to miss about them.
I want to really quick, I know we're probably running out of time, but I want to address, is it Ange? I guess that's short for Angie, Ange Lemley. I'm trying to help a friend by talking to him, but how do I get him to see a professional? Okay. So this is really important for you to remember and for everyone to really understand. Sorry you're late. You're not late for anything. This isn't like a fancy dress ball.
Could we make it a fancy dress ball? You could wear a tux and I could wear a beaded dress.
So there is a limit, Ange, to what you or any human being can do for another human being. Okay. You can be there for this individual. I don't know if you're in like the same geographic space as they are or whatever, and COVID and all of that, but you can let this person know, I'm here and I am concerned about you. I'm worried about you. I'm observing this, and this sign. I'm noticing you're not getting enough sleep. I'm noticing you're kind of erratic on social media. I'm alarmed by some of the things you're posting. Be specific about what you're noticing and what you're concerned about. Okay. And you can say, I'm here. I want to talk to you. I want you to talk to me. I will not judge you. I will be open and honest with you. But how do I get him to see a professional? Well, you can't. You cannot drag somebody to a therapist, right? Or a psychiatrist or whatever,
nope.
Unless you believe that that person is a clear and present danger to themselves or others, and they have means to carry out some kind of plan. Okay. That's the criteria for then going kind of the involuntary route. But if that person doesn't meet that criteria, if you're so now you're saying he just lost his father and he joined a gang. Okay. So this person has risk factors, right? For self-harm. They have a recent traumatic loss. They're engaging in dangerous behavior. So yeah, are there risk factors there? Absolutely. Does that mean that this person is going to do harm to themselves or someone else? No, not necessarily, right? And you are not trained in suicide assessment. And so, like I said, all you and all anybody can really do is be there for this person. If you are very concerned that they are going to do something to themselves or someone else, then we're going to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Right. And you can call on that person's behalf. That's important to understand too.
2 things I want to just add to what Gabe said. I agree 100% with everything that he said. I'd like to point that out. Talking to them is actually probably the best thing you can do for them right now, is showing them that's showing someone that they're not alone. That's not just saying it, that's actually showing them. Actions speak 100% louder than words. Offering to take them to a doctor and sit out in the car, and then you say, make it a lunch date. We'll go get lunch afterwards. We'll go get coffee, whatever it is. Offering to be there with them while they text the 741 number. You can't make somebody go there. He's right. You cannot. They have to get there on their own will. However, you get by a little help from your friends. And sometimes that is exactly the sentence you need to have somebody actually get to where they need get to the professional help that they need. It's scary, y'all. It is so scary to make that step and say that you need help or you need to go see a professional, and that you realize how deep your plan is or your thoughts, how dark they are. It's really, really hard. Having someone to go with you, God, there's nothing more like that. There really isn't.
Yep. And that's an incredibly powerful thing that you can do for another human being. So you have that power within you. And it's a simple act of compassion and love and friendship.
It truly is. So here's my question. What's everyone going to do? Everyone watching here, I've been seeing, now mind you, I don't have my glasses on. So when I'm going like this, because I can't see anything, but I've been seeing some of the comments come through, and you guys seem like you want a change. You want something to happen. You want to see mental health be treated the same as physical health. What are you going to do? I really want to know. I'm not just saying that like blasé. What action are you going to take? Are you going to try to change the conversation in your community, in your friend group? Are you going to try to change your Facebook feed every now and then to put something in about mental health? Are you going to volunteer somewhere? What are you going to do? Because I am so sick of people telling me they want to change and not doing anything about it. Just curious what you're going to do. So
I'm stunned that you're not launching into the cops theme.
Bad boys, bad boys.
There we go. What you gonna do?
What you gonna do when they come? Well, it's kind of like, I don't know.
I don't know either, but I was expecting it though.
I'm going to talk. Kevin's going to talk.
Kevin.
Woo!
Tell your story.
Tell your story. I think that's so powerful when I see people wanting to take an action, because I just think we can't keep sitting by anymore. Suicide rate is high. Depression and anxiety are at an all-time high, higher than we've ever seen. People who have never exhibited these signs are now exhibiting them. And we need a change. We need resources. We need education. And we need people that are going to listen to us. And I just want to, I want to point one thing out that I think is really important. While Gabe and I are both doing this because we've had experience, we also have kids. And we do want to see a change for our kids. Gabe has a son and a daughter. I have 4 boys. Men and mental health ain't no joke, people. It is no joke. While women have more attempts, men die by suicide the most because their follow through is lethal. If you don't want to hear that sentence, then do something about it. Because both of those sentences are messed up. That women have more attempts, and I know that that's not the best PC word, Gabe. You can correct me in a minute. While men are dying faster by suicide because of their lethal means, those sentences are not good enough for me. I want to see that go down.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong. You said you didn't say anything wrong with your language. I just hate the word
attempt. It just is.
But it is. I know. It's just there's plenty of language around suicide that needs to change, but an attempt is it's a factual word. It's not like commit. It's not loaded with stigma. It's not like a completed suicide. Like, I completed the puzzle. I completed the game. You know what I mean? It's not a successful suicide. Oh my God.
Well, it does.
When I hear that, like, oh Jesus.
I mean, I had someone say to me once, and I know Gabe, you and I have talked about this. Oh, you had 2 failed suicide attempts?
It failed. Yeah.
And I was like, I can't even kill myself right.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you're telling people. I just want you to know that when you say that to someone, that's what you are telling people.
That's part of the change. That is part of a tangible, actionable change that you can make in your language that you use about suicide whenever you talk about it. And that's so, so important. Language matters. Language matters. Language matters. I can't say it enough. So saying I'm going to talk that's great. but mind how you talk,
Right,
because we'll
right.
be out there watching.
So great point. Check out NAMI and the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. They both have lists of safe language, great words to use, and how to change your conversation just a little bit. I think that is pretty amazing that we can educate ourselves in that way. And before we shut off, I just want to say I'm loving seeing everyone posting things that they're going to share their story, and they're gonna get out there. I'm really proud of each and every one of you. I'm being completely honest and serious with you when I say that. I know I don't know you. However, when you tell me you're going to make a change and you're going to make comments and you're going to reach out and you're going to share your story, that's a change futuristically for my kids. And I just want to thank you for that, because it really means a lot to me personally. So thank you guys. Gabe, do you have anything else you want to add before we sign off?
The only thing I want to add is I feel like it's become really fashionable for celebrities to come out as having mental health challenges. And I sometimes, the sardonic part of me, there's another vocab word for you, AnnMarie. The sardonic part of me sits back and goes, is it like, I'm a celebrity and I kind of haven't been working in a year or two, and my agent calls me and is like, hey, things are really drying up for you. Why don't you come out as bipolar and get some ink? And, and that's really nasty. And I probably shouldn't say that. I'm probably really going to get in trouble for saying that. Get in trouble with who? Like, I don't even, but so celebrities want to come out as having mental health challenges. That's great. Okay. Don't sit around and wait for a celebrity to come out and talk. You come out and talk. You have nothing to gain. You have only this desire to connect with other human beings and bring other people in. And that is a way that other people go, wow, if him, then me. If her, then me. Because like I talked about with firearm suicide and that kind of mythology in the 2A community, well, that can't be me.
Right.
Yeah, it can.
Yeah.
And if everyday folks who live down the street from you or in your neighborhood or work in your supermarket or in your local government offices come out as having mental health challenges. We have a local state rep in Delaware County whose father took his own life. He was a firefighter. Mm-hmm. And she said, for so long, I was so afraid to talk about it. But then when I ran for public office, it was the main thing that I talked about, because I wanted people to know that I was serious about mental health, right, and I was serious about suicide prevention, and I wasn't giving lip service to it. And I think that's extraordinary. And people look at her and they go, God, suicide loss survivors can look at Jen O'Mara and go, this woman's been through it. She gets it.
So, Gabe, you and I feel the same way about celebrities. We've had this conversation a few times. Now, I know that there are celebrities that are walking the walking the talk, or whatever that is, whatever I'm saying.
They're doing something.
They're doing something. And yep, I do know there's celebrities doing exactly what you just said. However, I think the more powerful story is that person in rural Idaho that comes out and is sharing their story from his community, in this community that is so old school, judgmental, whatever the word is I'm looking for, sharing it with his community to tell his short story. That is bravery. But here's my caveat. Look, I used a big word. Is that, I don't even know if it's
That's
correct.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, I would love to see these celebrities. Shout out to every single celebrity that's watching this, because we know they all watch our show.
They are. They're all sitting there like with the popcorn.
Walk the walk, but don't just put it on Eat News or whatever those tabloids or whatever, People magazine. Don't just put it there. Go get out and do something. Yeah. Go volunteer at a crisis hotline. Go to your local hospital and talk to people who are being hospitalized and tell your story. Go talk to recovering addicts. Get in the mud with us. Don't stand up on your pedestal in your Christian Louboutins that I want so desperately with your Louis Vuitton handbag and preach to me when you're not standing next to me when it matters.
No, use that influence. Use that, first of all, use that money, baby, and then use that influence to make actionable, meaningful change.
Facts.
We just talked about how the inpatient hospitalization system is shit. Well, get up on Capitol Hill and advocate for change.
How about donate to them? And how about build a center? Build something in your name. We got basketball centers built to everybody, football stadiums. You guys, they get shirts from, wherever, blah, 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 yada, yada. They're influencers everywhere. Donate your money back. You want to make a difference? I'm so happy that you shared your story. Get in the mud with us, though. That's action.
Right.
So, I mean, I just want you to know that I've been singing so many songs with the word action in it in my head. I've really, really contained myself during this.
Do you want to just pick one that we can?
No, but
it'll be like our play out.
I just want to leave you with this. A friend of mine just sent me this meme, and it said, if I can't blurt out song lyrics to you in the middle of our conversation, then we can't be friends. Tell me that does not fit me perfectly.
It does.
Okay.
It does.
Thank you guys for listening to us.
Thank you.
I hope you take action. We're excited to see what you're going to do, and we'll see you next month. When mental health will still matter.
It will, even in June.